So this is the May 12th meeting of the Groton Inland Wetland Agency. Dave Scott's the chair. Staff tonight, Bruce Lofgren and Deb Jones. If anyone from the public wants to address the commission under public communications, you need to raise your virtual hand. And I'm thinking pretty much everybody is familiar with how to do that on Zoom by now. Anyway, take it away, Dave.
All right. We have any public communications, Deb?
I don't have anything. Do you, Bruce?
No, I don't.
And let me just check the attendees. They all appear to be applicants, so no one from the public.
All right. Approval of the minutes of April 14th.
So is that the one the one we need to revisit?
I think so.
So you should just go ahead and make the motion to approve them with the following modification and kind of spell out what your modification is.
Well, I just, did everyone have a chance to read the modification? So I guess I'd feel more comfortable if somebody, I don't want to make a motion about my own modification. That would make me feel uncomfortable.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 14th with the modifications that were written by me and sent out to you guys for your consideration to vote on.
I second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right.
Well, that was pretty easy.
Now we have April 28th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 28th.
We have a second?
Second.
All right. Any comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? No?
And before we go further, I just want to confirm you've appointed Annie as a voting member, correct?
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
Yep. All right. There's no new applications. So we have 595 Noank Ledger Road, septic repair.
Yes, we have 595 Noank Ledger again. It looks like 3 of the applicants are here. I'm going to promote them. They can do a. Oh, actually, Deb, you need to promote them. I can't.
Is that right? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Do that. Okay, there's Brad Warner.
I like that look of concentration, Deb.
I know, it looks goofy because I know. All right, should be everybody, I think, yeah.
Yes, that's everyone. Yep, and Barbara Williams just got here too, so that's good.
Good.
Okay, so I can share my screen and show the plan. Just a minute.
Hey, Barbara.
Hi. Good to see you up and around.
Boy, I was non-commis menace last one.
Oh, I have the same problem now.
Oh,
Kidney stone?
Yep.
Oh, I
No.
don't envy you.
Yeah, so here's the septic proposal. I think everyone is familiar with it now. So at the last meeting, I know Dave, you weren't here, so
Yeah, no, I know, I read it.
yeah, you read it. So basically, I'll let the applicants kind of make a presentation. I know the engineer is here, Richard. Maybe he wants to make a presentation on this, or Brad, the builder and the applicant. But basically, what we're reviewing is why does the septic system need to be down here, and are there alternatives to place it further up the hill and further away from the wetland edge? So I don't know if Richard, you wanna do a presentation on that and explain why it's there and why it needs to be there?
I know why it's there, but as long as Ledgelight approved it, it's not in the wetlands, it's not impinging on the wetlands.
There we go. You should be able to speak now.
Personally, I can't believe it's gonna function there, but well, Ledgelight says it will, and they know.
It's really close.
It is. I bet if you dug a hole, there'd be water 2 feet down.
Are we waiting for someone to make a presentation?
We are, I
Can you
believe
guys hear?
No, can't hear him.
you're
I can't see
unmuted.
anybody's pictures. I can't hear Rick or Joe, or I see you guys back and forth, but I can't see my own picture either.
No,
This is Brad Warner. I don't know if you can see me.
no,
No, I can see your name, that's it.
Okay.
They
Can you see,
Yeah.
are the other people there?
Now you're there. Now
they
you're there.
are.
It says they're here, but I can't hear anyone. I don't think Richard or Joey have said anything yet.
Okay, let me just,
God. Quick question. How do I make it so I can see everybody and myself? Is that a possibility or not?
Gallery? You have gallery on your computer?
Gallery.
they're boxes.
It says participants. Should I try that?
no, that's up at the top. Well,
I'm getting a text from the engineer and he says, why can't they hear me?
You know what? And he is
Hold on.
unmuted.
He is
Tell him
unmuted. Okay.
Tell him to leave the meeting and then come back in. Sometimes that clears up the problem.
Or you could call in too.
That's true. You can call in as well.
All right, hold on. He's sending me another message real quick. Maybe he could hear you guys. Hold on. This isn't. Oh, he heard you. He's gonna leave and come back in.
Okay, very good. In the meantime, Brad, do you want to review what this project is?
Yeah, the septic, they had 2 or 3 extra family members move into this place. And the septic is just at the end of its life. And at this point, it's getting bad. Like a couple showers in the yard is starting to have a certain smell to it.
The grass
So
is
we
getting
had
really
Lex-
green.
I'm green.
Yeah, the grass.
The grass is green. But Ledgelight came out. We did a bunch of test holes, and that's where Wendy wanted us to put it. So Rick designed it, and that's where we are now. And he could explain it better. I really wish he could get on here.
So he came back in. I promoted him to panelist. He can unmute himself.
Let me see.
Mute as well.
Unmute. I think he can hear you. Oh, I see me now. All right, there we go. That's a start.
Yeah, he's unmuted. It seems like for some reason his microphone is not working.
I see my picture and 3 others. Is that right? Oh, here's some more. I'm technologically,
You know, I might suggest try your phone. The other person that's not able to talk. When in doubt, sometimes if you have a smartphone, it can just be easier. Less buttons to push. You can't see everybody, but at least you could talk.
should I try to, oh, I see him. I don't see a picture though. Should I call him?
I think he can. Do you think he can hear us, Deb? Because he said he could. I would say try getting on with the phone.
All right, let me do that.
Yeah, I guess worst case scenario, he could talk on through Brad's phone to us, and we'd be able to hear him most likely.
I'm
Right,
gonna try to put him back to an attendee and then see if I can allow him to speak as an attendee and see if that works.
Yes. Napoleon 800. In 1804, Napoleon standardized all the laws of France, resulting in a civil code.
No, I guess not. You're unmuted now, Richard, but no.
Yeah.
And now, alas, Egyptology began with Napoleon's 1798 invasion of Egypt and the discovery of this stone, a key to
Ugh. Hold on. Let me try one more thing.
We got you back.
Can you guys hear him by any chance?
No.
No. There is a phone number he can call into the meeting with, or like I said, he can call your cell phone, Brad, and you can put him on speakerphone and we might be able to hear him.
I'm trying to. For some reason, my phone's just making it so it's either you or him. I can't
Yeah, that's
merge the calls.
Maybe the property owner could do that?
Yeah, maybe he could call. Yeah.
Bruce, what if I give you his number?
Sure, I can do that.
Eight 630-639-8928.
I'll give him a call.
All right.
Oh, he's calling in.
Oh, okay, let's try that.
It is *6 to unmute, I believe, when you're on the phone.
All right, can anybody hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Good. Good. Yeah. My wife,
There we
my
go.
wife was pulling her hair out because I don't have any to pull out, but this was tough. Okay. I was listening, not sure, are there questions or do you want me to, explain the system?
I think one question we had last time was, is there a reason that it's the actual system is tipped towards the wetland? Is there any way you could tip that?
It would run hydraulically, it has to run with the contours. Obviously, that's how they work best. The location, we can't fit it up any higher and meet the health code standards, MLSS and so on. So this is where, when we met with Ledgelight out in the field, we picked the location and did the test holes. Now, we brought the system up to meet the health code. And if you're worried about I think maybe you're in fear of the dimension you see. And, a lot of people are used to, keep it 50 feet or whatever, so on. With a repair, there is no distance, as far as the health code is concerned. And if you're concerned about effluent, I've never seen anything extend more than 10 feet from a trench when doing a repair. If I did another test hole, if this failed and I did a test hole 10 feet down gradient, you wouldn't see anything. Everything stays within that box. From my experience. So
Back to my first question, is there any reason that you could move that so you're now just below the 122 contour line? Could you move it to the other side of the 122 contour line?
That's what I mean. Elevation-wise, I got it to where it can gravity flow. If I move that any, well, I don't know if we'd have a pump system or not. Yeah, right now I have it running. That's why my notes here. I've got it running minimum grade to make connection. So someone's beeping in. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't think 5 feet is gonna hurt anything as far as effluent wise, but it'll hurt us as far as gravity wise.
And did I hear correctly that Ledge Light suggested this location and this direction?
Yeah, we were out, we picked a secondary area, and this is where we picked when we were out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have the paper in front of me. I just know it was approved about 3 weeks ago. I don't know the exact date. Yeah, I mean, it meets the public health code. I think a lot of people, in my experience, when going through this with commissions and so forth, they look at a distance and they think, wow, that's awful close. The grading from this system won't extend probably more than 10 feet. It won't extend past the silt fence you're looking at. So, you're not going to see anything past that.
Well, the silt fence is literally what, 12 feet, 10 feet from the wetland?
Yeah.
22.5.
Well, the system is 22
Right, and the silt fence,
feet from the system with the end. The silt fence is probably about 10 feet right there where
Right.
the arrows move, and of course it gets greater as you go on.
What's the subsurface?
What's that?
What's the subsurface material? Is it gravel?
Hang on a second. Let me go to the test hole data. No, it's what do we got here? I'll read you off the test hole data. How's that? There's 0 to 6 is topsoil. 6 to 38 is a light brown and gray sandy loam with silt.
Yeah.
And then after that, dark gray, medium sand, some gravel, medium compact. Models were at 33. The height, the model letter. Groundwater was at 73 into grade.
That explains the drainage.
that explains the what, Dave?
The drainage.
Drainage.
Why those test pits drain so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good location. It definitely works for what's here. It's probably the best scenario, and it's the scenario that meets the septic to work and meets all the public health code requirements, which is what they make you do first. In other words, if you have a repair, show us you can put in something that meets the standards. And if you can't, then we work thereafter, to get it to work.
I don't understand what you just said. If this fails,
No, meaning we have to require, for the number of bedrooms, so forth and so on, we have to meet all the requirements.
of course.
MLSS, design, all that stuff. And if we can, we have to put the system to meet all those. This location meets all those. The only way they would give us a variance or vary from that is if we had no physical way of making it work per the public health code.
Who is Solomon? Jeff, birth and prey, 1600. In one of his most famous sermons, this Italian saint told his verse.
So I don't know much about this, so I'm gonna ask. With a septic, you have a leach field, right?
This is the box shown as the leach field, the GFT system. Yes.
Okay, so, and you say nothing will ever leach out of that? To
Well,
your
no, it
experience.
leaches into the ground.
But the effluent is treated by the leach field. So essentially
Yes.
when it does get into the ground outside of the area of the leach field, it's treated effluent. It's not raw. Bacteria has done its thing and treated the effluent.
You explained it well.
Thank you.
And
So it's only going to go down and under the street, the wetland?
no.
I-
It's gonna go down as opposed to out
Yeah.
Yeah,
because of the drainage.
you're not going to see everything. Yeah, it's hard to explain. I think, yeah, exactly that. You're not looking at it like a sheet flow for a parking lot. Everything's going to head down gradient to the wetlands. And like I said, in my experience, when doing septics, if I were to do a repair and that area failed, if I had dug a test hole, say 10 feet down gradient, you wouldn't see any remains of anything. You know, it stays within itself. And the main thing here with it is obviously we had to stay above the high models, the high groundwater layer. But as far as any other disturbance, the silt fence you're looking at, you're not going to see any grading past that.
Well, that's answered the questions I had about this. After the site walk, and seeing how close it was and what that looked like. But you have answered my questions.
Hey, Ann? Ann, you hear me?
Yes.
What happens in the leach field is there's a layer of water around the soil particles that contains bacteria, which hopefully consume any materials that get flushed that far out. That's how that works.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it would make any difference if we had, flooding like we've had before and there was more water. I mean, it just seems close, but if that's
I think it
structurally
could,
prepared
but
for that.
That's why it's placed above the models that were noted. The models are an indication of groundwater rising and falling in that soil layer there. And so a septic field has to be installed above that so that when groundwater rises, it doesn't interfere with the bacteria, which is not to say that under, extreme conditions, your septic, your leach field may get inundated a bit. But the sanitarians use the modeling in the soil as an indication of where groundwater typically is and make sure that the leach field is above that.
18 inches above that. And you guys explained that well again.
not our first trip around the block.
I bet it's not.
How deep did you say the groundwater is at the far end of the leach field?
73 inches. The actual groundwater is
Inches.
way down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's down. The modeled layer is basically the worst condition that you see for high groundwater. And then they make you keep 18 inches above that.
Okay.
The actual wetlands in this case, just to give you an idea, let's see, elevation 118. So it's about 3.5 feet lower than grade at system.
Oh.
So this is up above it, you know.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so can we talk about this draft motion, I guess, even though I'm still having palpitations about this, but so on the motion number 2, the construction and clearing will limit negative impacts to the wetland. That is a very unusual and seemingly contradictory statement to me. Construction and clearing will limit negative impacts.
It probably should read the installation of the sediment and erosion controls on the plan.
It seems to make at least a little bit more sense. But I mean, we don't normally have a statement like that.
You have to give reasons for you making your decision.
Right.
This is draft.
Okay. So you want to say the installation,
Will have no negative impacts on the wetland. Because limited means there are some.
Yeah, I agree.
so maybe we could say the installation of ENS controls will limit the negative impact to the wetland? How would that feel to anybody?
Doesn't feel
That
as
actually
good.
sounds good.
And then
Is there a problem with saying no impact? As
Problem.
opposed to limited negative
there's-
impact?
Yeah, it's a problem for me because I still am, it's super, super close to the wetland for me. So, and the guy just said, if this fails, he can get, he's never seen it go more than 10 feet from the.
Yeah,
So,
so that seems to me we could say no negative impacts.
I wouldn't be able to vote for that. And the second
How about
part,
no expected impact?
Well, that's also very arbitrary. I don't know.
and
What
then
do you think, Deb?
Sorry, actually, this is Bruce's motion.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And so then on number 1, under the permit, subject to the 4 standard condition, that a row of permanent evergreen plantings, I don't think evergreens are going to do well here. And I don't know what a permanent evergreen is. Second part. And also shall be established along the proposed limits of clearing line. I would prefer that said something along the edge of grass line. I saw on that plan there was a
Appropriate plants.
yeah, so I think again we need to define, so there was, what do they call it, edge of lawn. That's where I would like to see those plants. I didn't see on this where the limit of clearing line. It seems to not
It's
be,
the existing, oh, sorry about that.
yeah,
The,
Right, yeah, it's right here.
except for up top, that's the only part that's being cleared. Everything else is already established lawn.
Right. That's right.
So along that upper corner is the only place clearing would be needed.
But again, for my vote on this, I would need to see trees planted all along the edge of that lawn to sort of mitigate, if you will, how close you are to the wetland up there.
Up
And
at
I'd
the
rather
corner.
see some native plants in
So,
there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Permanent evergreens don't exactly fit the bill.
No.
for me. And I would like to see that extended, that whole length of the lawn, edge of lawn, if you will. I walked back in there and it's mushy to say the least. And it also doesn't make any sense to me to put the plants in place at the commencement of the proposed work because they're just going to get potentially trashed. I would think that you would put them after you complete the work. And the other thing is I drove by there again the other day and I noticed there's a big excavator back there. And it definitely looks to me like should be moved away from how close it is to the wetland. So those are that's the commentary that I have on the draft.
Yeah, evergreens aren't gonna do well in that wet environment.
I agree. There's an established lawn line running up there. Now in the corner where some trees are being taken out, I guess if you should maybe look at it after the fact to see what vegetation, the trees and so forth are left. I could possibly see putting something up there, but to establish a line of that along the existing lawn line, I don't know what it's going to do there.
I think it's going to help protect the wetland.
Well, if that wooded area is still wooded, then the plantings would start there and follow down.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no point in tearing up existing trees to plant something.
Of course not. Yep.
So I'll just add that the reason why I put the proposed limits of clearing is because that is this line right here. And my thought was rather than, and this was a suggestion, rather than having plantings along the entire edge of lawn, which is here, I was just proposing as a start to just put the plantings along this clearing limit line at the closest choke point right here to kind of avoid anything else. But there is the silt fence line here as well that cuts off, and then you could follow the edge of lawn. I mean, there's multiple lines, so it's where you
That is
like.
true.
And I put evergreens generally because they protect the wetlands with light and noise too, because they kind of have a continuous shield. So when it was this close, that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't disagree that some evergreen species may not do well in the wet soils, but I mean there is a holly tree right here that seems to be doing really well. So I'm sure that maybe there are better plant species to plant there, but that was my line of thought, that it would protect sound and glare as well to the wetlands, that it would also really have a good shield and kind of demarcate where clearing should occur and where it should not, to kind of keep that edge permanent, so it doesn't keep getting intruded back further to the wetland over time as mowing and clearing it. That's why I put the permanent line in there. Go away.
Well, evergreens have a bad habit of tipping over in hydric environments. They also snap off in windstorms. I think you're better off putting something in there that's going to be a bit tougher than evergreens.
Yeah, like high bush blueberry or something like that.
That'd be a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a wetland scientist involved in this?
Mark Sullivan was delineated the wetlands.
Yeah. So maybe Mark Sullivan could come up with a planting plan to be approved by the town of Groton staff. And that planting plan, I guess it would be a combination of Bruce's wording for the proposed limits of clearing line, and then once it bisects with the edge of lawn, or not bisects, it doesn't bisect, it's got another line in there. You see where I'm going here. I'd like to come down from the clearing line and then somehow get to the edge of lawn line. But now the edge of lawn goes through the actual septic system. So maybe follow that 120 contour.
It's going to be just behind the silt fence.
I'm sorry?
It'd be just behind the silt fence.
just behind the silt fence until that bisects. How about
That
until
dark
that
line's the silt
bisects with
fence.
edge of lawn? Does that work for anybody?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
And then down to the existing wood line, quote unquote. Because I think that's where some trees were cut in there. And then what does everybody think about moving the excavator out of that area?
A good idea.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? This is Joseph.
Say what?
Can you guys hear me?
I can't.
Yes.
Can you
hear
guys hear me? This is the homeowner. Can you
Yep,
hear
we
me?
can hear you.
you.
I
Here,
removed
we
the
can hear you.
excavator.
Yeah.
I removed the excavator. That can just get all the dead wood out because it's all rotting away. It's not to do anything, and I will move it gladly. I'll have the guy move it. It's just been sitting there, not doing anything. I'll back it up without a problem. I apologize for that.
Hmm.
Did that person say the excavator's just sitting there? I can barely hear.
Yeah,
him.
I think
Yeah, and
it
then
was
he would
parked
move it.
there.
Hmm.
Okay.
He said he was gonna move it.
Yeah, I'll move it.
Okay. All right. So what's everybody else thinking about any of these ideas?
I think the soil scientist should
Yeah,
identify the
If I could-
plants that are gonna go in there.
Yep.
I agree.
I can say, I mean, if you have recommendations, it might be, I hate to say this, quicker. This situation is system needs to be repaired.
Right.
And
The plantings are
It
gonna
took
go
me-
in after the system.
okay.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying, holding off the approval, I can get and talk to the soil scientist to do something for after the fact that you can approve. But for me to get him to get something done before can be approved to be fixed would be tough. These guys are 4 to 6 weeks out with doing any kind of work when you contact them.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
just
with you on
very,
that.
very busy.
Yeah, the
We could- we-
plantings are gonna come after the system is
Yeah.
covered.
Okay.
And we
okay.
could include that into the draft here.
Oh.
That the plantings would be selected
I
and
don't-
staff.
I just didn't want to see these poor people have to wait and it's
Yeah.
that long. It's just,
Got
it'd be a while.
Okay. I'm gonna make a stab at a motion here, since it seems like that's the direction we're going in. I'll make a motion to approve Inland Wetlands Agency 20-08, the Clark septic. Why does it say and addition? I'm not-
Because he wants to add an addition, but he's gonna put it off now because wood is too expensive.
It's outside of the 50-foot area anyway, so.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with us.
It
Yeah,
is within.
except it does
the
because it's
100.
right here. So are we approving an addition too? Because we haven't really spoken about that.
If I can explain, how about I take it in the future? I'll give you a future. If that addition were to go in, it would be sunk in the ground right as you see it. And if you look at those two contours, you can see the grading is very minimal right behind it. So it would have that effect of, it goes down towards the back deck slowly. So you would see the grading stop maybe 10 to 15 feet at most away from that addition where before it would blend in. And that area there is all existing lawn. I mean, there wouldn't be anything as far as erosion and, anything like that. So if it were to go in the future, it pretty much is just set in the ground with some minimal grading right behind it.
I guess I would just prefer to leave the addition out of this right now? If you're not gonna, I mean, you're not doing it. I
I
think,
think the reason they were doing it is if they decided to do it a year from now, they wouldn't have to come back before the commission because it was sort of minor compared to the septic that we've been referring to.
Understood, but we don't necessarily like to predispose things that we haven't really looked
Yeah.
at that carefully.
and here's what I would say. I mean, chances are if you have to come back next year or whenever for the addition and you've done a great job and you've put the wetland trees or shrubs in and everything looks great, we're going to approve this with no problem. But I didn't
Yeah.
realize we were putting in for an addition. I don't know. Does somebody else want to start talking? Because I think I've talked too much.
Well, I was aware of the addition, and again, I think it took a back seat to our concerns because of the septic system. And I think that one of the reasons they wanted the new septic system was because of this additional people and, in the house, another bathroom and shower and toilet and all that, right?
And it's leaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the other one's gotta come out, and I personally don't have any trouble with this reading with the addition. But that's just my stance on that.
yeah, and I could just add, so this addition has been on the plan and it was on the application when it was submitted. I know, this has been going on a long time since, maybe the end of last year, if not the beginning of this year. So it did, we definitely discussed the addition. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, I definitely mentioned at the first meeting. So if you can see, so here's the wetland line, here's the, this is the 100-foot upland review area right here. So the entire addition is located within the upland review area. We just haven't discussed it so much because all the concerns were so up to now were really around this septic system. We haven't really addressed this addition, but I will say that they went through the ledge light permitting process for this based on this addition and this floor plan, and that is what that's one of the reasons why they have this septic system for the addition. So they're permitted. So this septic is designed for this addition right here.
I think I remember hearing that there were concerns about how many people were in that new addition. So they had to take a bedroom out or something. Is that new septic just at the very edge of being able to,
Accommodate.
yes, thank you, accommodate however many people they're going to have in the house or would if they did build the addition?
It's designed for 4 bedrooms right now. This is supposed to be a 4-bedroom house, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was my understanding of it. And during the process, I know Ledgelight had them. I think they had a laundry room that might have had a closet in there and could have been considered a 5th bedroom. So what Ledgelight did was they told them to revise the floor plans to make sure they only had 4 bedrooms. That's what I described last time. It was more of a tweak on the floor plans from Ledgelight to.
Yeah.
There's only 4 bedrooms.
It's for a 4-bedroom design. It's strictly for a 4-bedroom design.
And how many people?
That I couldn't tell you. Systems aren't designed on number of people. It's on number of bedrooms, and then they take it from there as far as design.
6 people live in the house. 2 kids, 4 adults.
Oh,
I had to move in because of COVID last year because I got sick with cancer. So then we were all right, we're gonna build. Now we're not building because the septic, and I don't want to pay for the price of wood. So I just want to get the septic fixed because for the last 6 months it's been stinking up the yard. My kids can't even play out there, and it's just become a nightmare in my eyes. Like I will do whatever I have to do, plant wise, conservative wise, whatever you need me to do to try to get this done.
All right, here I go again. Inland Wetlands 20-08 Sequoia Septic and addition 595 Noank Ledger Road. Regulated activity, construction of an addition, installation of a new septic system and associated grading and clearing. To approve the Sequoia Septic and addition application, AL shouldn't be there, for the following reasons. There's no loss of wetland or water course associated with this application. Number 2, the installation of E&S control will limit negative impacts to the wetland. This permit is subject to the 4 standard conditions and the following modification. That a row of species identified by staff and/or a wetlands scientist shall be established along the proposed limit of clearing line bisecting into the E&S control line, which bisects into the edge of lawn line. Take out in the northwest corner, because I would need that all along the whole back of the properties. These plantings shall be put in place following the completion, take immediately out, following the completion of the proposed septic work, not the addition, so that needs to be clarified. The plantings shall be inspected by the Office of Planning and Development for compliance, and a report shall be made back to the Inland Wetlands Agency at whatever time you guys want that to be. And then the second one is that the heavy machinery adjacent that's back there shall be moved out of the wetland upland review area.
All right, we have a second.
Second it.
All right, any more discussion?
Is Linda there to get that motion?
Yep, she's on the call.
I'm
Okay.
here, yes. I
Okay.
can try to read it back to you if you want me to.
Kind of a little, yeah.
Okay, and who is the second?
Barbara Williams.
Okay, I thought so, but I wanted to check. Thank you. Okay,
All right, any other questions?
did you want me to read that back?
Yes, please.
All right,
Okay. To approve the Socorro septic and addition application for the following reasons, there's no loss of wetland or water course associated with the application. Installation of the erosion and sediment control will limit the negative impacts to the wetland. Permit subject to the 4 standard conditions. A row of species of evergreen. That I've heard species. I didn't know if anything else went with
Let's
it.
just say wetland,
appropriate.
woody wetland species. How about that?
Okay, woody wetland species identified by staff or a soil scientist will be planted along the erosion and sediment control line, which bisects into the, I didn't catch that line.
Well, so it's the proposed limit of clearing line, which bisects into the E&S line, which bisects into the edge of lawn line.
Oh, boy, I did miss that.
I know, sorry.
That's all right. The plantings will be in place following the completion of the proposed septic work.
Yep.
Plantings to be inspected by planning department for compliance. A report will be made back to the agency. And number 2, the heavy machinery shall be moved out of the wetland upland review area.
Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right. We ready?
Ready?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? All right. There you go.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right.
You guys could fire me soon if you want to.
We're not gonna make it easy on you.
We don't have any old business. I don't have anything right now. It's a good time to go out and look at things though. So if people want to go out and ride around town, have a look at, there's not a whole lot going on, but where it is. I noticed that the, down the street on High Street, on Sandy Hollow Road, 2 of the lots have an opening, but don't have a trackpad in them yet.
Okay, we'll monitor that when they issue the building permit. We'll make sure it goes in.
Yeah, they haven't done anything there except push into it.
Right.
What about the Marsh Road erosion and where that house cleared the swale?
I'm
I
not,
brought it up at the
Not Marsh
last.
Road, I think she means up there on the hill there on Prospect, behind, what was that property named? Campbell property.
oh, the one that was mowed recently? Okay, you'll have to
No,
fill me
no.
in. I think Bruce probably,
Yeah, I was
I
up there today.
yeah, okay.
Down by the seahorse.
Yeah,
Down by the Seahorse. What's that?
yeah. I mean Marsh Road.
I don't know. What was that?
By Esker Point Beach, there are some, what do you call it, swales or something by the
Oh,
side of the
yeah.
road.
Oh, okay, so Public Works is doing some work in the existing drainage swales down there under their townwide permit. I've been working with, excuse me, one of the town engineers about stabilization of it, but I haven't been out there lately. I'll take a look and see if that it's per the plan.
Okay.
It had accumulated a lot of sediment in it and it wasn't draining very well, so they were cleaning out the sediment.
Used to flood there.
Hmm.
Well, they cleaned it out and then all the dirt, a lot of dirt washed back in again with that heavy rain we had.
Okay, all right,
Couple of
we'll
weeks
check it
ago.
out. Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Before you vote on it, I just want to make sure everybody got notice of the Mystic downtown parking meeting, just in case you're interested. Seating is limited, so if you really want to go, you need to register and do it
Yeah.
sooner than later.
And Deb, I'm gonna miss the next meeting.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we have
Very good.
a motion and a second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. I still want to see the duck. All right, good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Everybody,
Bye.
thanks.